Welcome to Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Borough in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington. One of our top 40 entertainers of decades and decades ago said, "Mama, there's a whole lot of shaking going on." And if you look at what's happening in Pittsburgh sports with the NFL draft, the Pirates, believe it or not, are in first place. And the Penguins are, of course, getting ready for the playoffs Wednesday night with the Islanders. And don't take them lightly. The history has been, although it's been eras ago, we have not been able to beat the Islanders in a playoff series. We're 0-3. George Guido joins me tonight. George, I'm sure you've been thinking about all this stuff.
Yeah, a lot of thought going into this one, and especially with the Penguins. You know, the Islanders haven't won a playoff series since they defeated the Penguins in 1993. Right. And I think you and I and the late Joe Falsetti, Mike Pavlik have talked on this show a number of times how we think that 93 Penguins team, not the ones that won the Stanley Cup in 91 and 92, but maybe the 93 team that didn't make it out of the second round was the best Penguins team of them all. Mm-hmm. And the New York Islanders beat them. They just kind of got hot. Yeah. And, you know, that puck can take some funny bounces in the month of May. And that's what the Pittsburgh Penguins have to be wary of. But your number one seed in the East, Bob, and you know, people say, well, they're made to make a cup run this year, but my feeling is, let's get through that first round, mm-hmm. Then we'll talk about, you know, how far possibly going to the Stanley Cup Finals. Because last 2 years, the Penguins have been eliminated in the first round. So
it's amazing.
We'll see how that comes out.
All right, our phone number is 724-236-0430. And when you call to chat with us, you have the option. You can stay on the phone and take a trivia question from us, your choice of either the mystery profile, a harder question, which we call the Grand Salami, or the multiple choice, which your chances are 1 in 4, you're going to get something. And if you get it correct and you've obeyed the rules, you have a prize coming out to you. So, George, we got the questions, or I should say the rules of eligibility ready to go for our folks at home to take a look at, and they are as follows. Do not win more than once every other, you can go every other week, I should say. You can't go back to back at the same household address. The Grand Salami and the mystery profile can only be won once in a calendar month, and you can only try the mystery profile once in a calendar month. Multiple choice questions are 15 seconds, the Grand Salami at 20. Mystery profile would kind of move along quickly, clue by clue. First-time callers, or anyone who's not called over the last year, eligible to win. When they do, they will get more than one prize. So we encourage you to pick up the phone, give us a call. You can always get the answers to the trivia questions from doubledribblebob.com, which is my website, and we invite you to check that out. My radio program, Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock. On WAVL 910 on the AM dial.
And you've been there for a long time, Bob, and good to hear that you're back on there.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay. And this is the end of the calendar month that you were referring to just about.
April 29th, and my daughter, Jennifer, has a birthday today.
Great. 39 again?
Yeah, 39 again.
Good for her.
Just got off the phone with her before making the trip out here. Let's take our first commercial break, and we'll come back with caller number 1 after this brief timeout. Stay with us.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. My first book on sports is available not only through the internet, but at various local businesses in the AK Valley. It's Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes. Short sports stories, odd and unusual, fascinating and funny, only take about a minute to read. Go online to doubletripplebob.com, where links are provided for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Word Association to get book information. Get your copy locally at Costello Printing in Tarentum, Blackburn's in Tarentum, Myrna's Brewery Outlet in New Kensington, or the Hot Dog Guys Lower Borough. Tower Auto Sales has the best in product, the best in selection, and the best customer communication. What's more important is best service after the sale. Call Mike Fanto at 412-828-6202. Just buy it from Tower Auto Sales. Okay, we're going to go to the phones. We're going to pick up Mark, who is at work and doesn't want to get fired for being away from the assembly line too long. Who was the woman that in World War II, was it Rosie?
Rosie the Riveter.
The Riveter, Rosie the Riveter. You have a job like that, Mark, or what?
What do you call it? Machine operator for rods that go into car parts.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
That's an
close
important
enough.
job.
Close enough.
What do you guys think if the Pirates could take 2 out of 3 for Milwaukee? Could this be their year at Milwaukee?
Yeah, that would be a good sign. The Pirates have only won 7 of the past 51 games in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. And 2 of the 7 were back-to-back days a couple of years ago.
Does Randall Simon have anything to do with that streak?
Well, probably got to blame it on somebody. I think it's because Milwaukee's been so good and the Pirates have been so poor as of late. Has everything to do with it. But boy, you want to have a better record, Bob, against a divisional rival, because these games mean 2 spots per night in the division race.
I mean, yeah, they surprised me. Taking 3 out of 4 from Philadelphia and the same from St. Louis, or 2 out of 3?
2 out of 3 from St. Louis and 3 out of 4 from Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, before the season started, I thought this road trip would be a killer, but it's turning out exactly the opposite way. My prediction of 69 and 93 is the Pirates' record to finish this season is looking in jeopardy right now.
Yeah, I was figuring after their first week, their rocky start, that first week, I thought, yeah, there we go again, but now they've come back.
You know, generally speaking, it's been the pattern, I think. You go out west, well, you have your road trip, wherever it may be, but generally west in April.
Yeah.
And it's a disastrous month. And then you come back a little bit stronger in, May and June, and you're flirting with that 500 mark. And as we did last year, we went way over.
Went 16
in,
over
in
500,
high hopes.
yeah.
But now that we have a great start of the year, what would happen if we were to pick up those extra, or have a similar summer as we had last year, at least the early summer?
Yeah.
Man, we could.
That'd be
we could
great.
make
They
some
could
noise.
really make some hay, but there's a long way to go.
And then changing the subject, what do you think of the Steelers' schedule this year? Seems
Well,
like they have some wild, crazy time games. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't have as many daylight games. The 1 o'clock games.
Yeah, well, that shows you how popular the Steelers are. The networks want them on TV. In fact,
Fine.
the Steelers have a Thanksgiving night game this season for the first time ever. Their previous Thanksgiving Day games were those noontime starts out in Detroit, especially the one where Jerome Bettis messed up the coin flip in overtime. But taking a look at that schedule, boy, if they can get some traction, they're playing a lot of games against teams that were under 500 last year. Of course, there'll be new teams and a new season, and that in a way doesn't mean anything, but I would certainly like facing the teams that the Steelers have on the schedule as opposed to some of the other teams where you're playing most of your games against winning teams from 2012. So, I think that's very agreeable, and they really have a chance to make some hay.
And one other question: do you think Aaron Rodgers is worth the richest football player in history? For his new contract.
Well, they don't have to worry about selling tickets in Green Bay to get somebody as a popular player such as Aaron Rodgers as a vehicle to sell tickets, because in Green Bay you have to hope either a relative dies or moves out of town in order for you to get Packers tickets, and then that might not be enough. So they don't have to worry about ticket sales in Green Bay, but you could see this happening with a person maybe playing on a team that has trouble drawing, like the Bengals or maybe Tampa Bay or somebody, a team that doesn't sell out their games a lot. But boy, with Green Bay, to put so much salary into one player on the team, I think you're really taking a chance, despite the fact that Aaron Rodgers is one of the best in the business right now. To answer your question, Mark, I really don't believe that it's wise to put so much of a percentage of your team's salary in one guy, Bob.
Yeah, they must have enough for that salary cap, or however that works, I guess. But
well, Green Bay's cleaned out a lot of their veterans
lately. I better get one for my multiple choice question then.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
George, we'll let you
Multiple
go.
choice. We will start with this one for you, Mark. This is a baseball question. Who is the only Major League pitcher to throw an opening day no-hitter? And your choices are 4 real good ones: Bob Feller, Early Wynn, Nolan Ryan, or Sandy Koufax. 15 seconds, Mark.
How about Bob Feller?
And you are absolutely correct. We start off the evening with the winner. Mark has chosen Bob Feller as the only Major League pitcher to throw a no-hitter on opening day.
Okay, thanks, Mark, for the call.
Fellas. You have a good evening. Hopefully I can call next week.
All right.
Okay, good.
Bye-bye.
Good to hear from you. Let's go to Tony and Arnold. Tony, good evening.
We're starting with these guys at work again, huh? I got a job. I'm working now. My boss wants me off the phone.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're so wealthy, I don't even know why you're bothering to work.
Well, I work at home plate and sheet.
There you go, yeah.
Hey, is this George?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, okay, because, George, I never knew you were Chinese.
I was Chinese. I didn't either.
Yeah, because somebody asked me, he said, how's George doing? I said, George who?
George who? As opposed to who's on first.
That's right. This is still April?
This is not much of it left, though.
Yeah, but already we're raising the pennant flag?
Well, I don't know about that. It's a long season, but it's a great start.
We were 16 games over 500 in what part last year of the
Up
month?
until August the
August,
8th.
August
How
8th.
much the season was left over? Not too much.
About a
compared
third.
to April
In
to
fact,
now.
I think
So it's
exactly a
September.
third.
Yeah. Well, you know what? 2 years ago, we got happy and was enjoying in a collapse game. Last year, we got happy and enjoying in a collapse game. So the only thing I tell you this year is cross your eyes, cross your fingers, cross your arms, cross your legs, cross your toes if you can, and pray. That's all. Let's just hope that, but
Well, Tony,
Yeah.
if everybody has, a career season,
there's
Maybe-
reason to get
maybe we can,
excited, though.
maybe
You
we
just
can
want
have at least a
to
500
temper the
season.
excitement, I believe.
But you know what? Show me the money. Talk to me in September with I don't know, maybe 5 games left and they're 10 in first place or something, or they're safe in second or whatever. But
What's the Yankee payroll this year? And
Well, it's not the largest anymore. I think it's $213 million. The Dodgers
Right.
are up around $230 million.
Okay. How would you like to be either one of those two teams and perhaps not make the playoffs as opposed to what the Pirates are spending?
And the way the
And maybe
Yankees
accomplish the same.
let me see
have
now.
injuries,
Yeah.
they're almost their whole infield's out.
$200 million. They didn't make the playoffs for 20 years. How many World Series have the Yankees won in 20 years?
About 5, I think.
Oh, is that all? Oh,
That's
okay.
all.
Yeah. Don't compare this at all. This is you are so far in left field. It's unbelievable. No, don't compare this at all. And and the best part about it, the Pirates just needed maybe a couple players here, a couple players here. and they could be really competitive and maybe break that 500 mark a long time ago. But I mean, why do it? You got people going to the game. They want whiskey. You're giving them water, so and they keep paying for it. So I'll tell you one thing: that catcher we picked up so far, the steal of the year.
Yeah.
So far.
Finally,
So
the
far.
Pirates
You're
outbid
right,
the
yeah,
Yankees
so
for
far.
somebody.
But he hit 21 home runs last year. With the Yankees.
Yeah.
But he's an excellent catcher. That will not, change. It's good defense, good arm.
Yeah.
Not like Pancho Villa we had, Barras. But hey, and now I want to go to the Steeler draft. I didn't like it. I don't mean the whole thing. I didn't like that running back. I think we should have took Lacy. Lacy's more our type of back, like a Franco Harris or or Jerome Bettis. Big guy, quick feet. He could stay every down. I don't know. I've seen this guy play for Michigan State, and every time he played Notre Dame stopped him, but they didn't stop Lacy. So.
Well, Notre Dame had such a fantastic defense, especially this past season.
Yeah, that
It'd
was
be
this past
difficult,
season. But like I said, they didn't stop Lacy. But
I
he was
don't think
more
anybody
like up the back,
did,
and he was
but,
sitting there, and they didn't take him as usual. But
now, isn't Eddie Lacy more injury prone than anything else?
I don't know about that. Of course, my son told me he's on that watch list, for that growth hormone stuff.
Oh, the
that,
HTH.
Oh, Lacy is?
Yeah, that, 1 year he went from 200 pounds to 230. Everything got big all of a sudden. But, when I mentioned it to him, that's what he told me. He said, yeah, but, they're saying maybe he's on that growth hormone stuff. So I said, okay, whatever.
Well, maybe there's your answer.
Yeah, maybe that is, but
I
don't
don't
know.
think this guy's bad that they picked up from what I know about him.
Yeah. And the linebacker we needed, but now they say he has to put on some weight. So that's not hard, right, Bob? We could put that on,
Yeah.
right?
I can do
Hey,
the
an
30
expert at
pounds
that.
over the holidays. Just,
Yeah, come down here. I'll show you how
give
to
me
put
a
it on.
wrinkle kielbasa and some potato salad, and whatever. I'll show you how to
Hey,
put
what do
the
you
weight.
mean? Good pasta, good Italian bread, meatballs. Hey,
There
we'll
you
take
go.
care of that guy in a hurry. But I don't know. What do you think of it, the draft overall, George, or Bob?
I like a lot of it. Now, choosing a quarterback in the fourth round, Landry Jones from Oklahoma, he was once thought of as maybe about the best quarterback in the draft, but he's had his injury problems. In Oklahoma, they kind of run an offensive style that's not conducive to NFL play.
No,
if you're
he's
a quarterback,
he's strictly a drop-back quarterback.
yeah,
And that was he would have been good 15 years ago.
yeah.
When that's all we had was.
But you know what? When you have an athlete right there staring at you in the fourth round that at one time was supposed to be one of the early draft picks, boy, I think you got to grab him. That certainly means the end of the careers of Leftwich and Charlie Batch. As much of a good guy as Charlie Batch is, he's a community-minded person. I really think at this point it's time to move on.
Yeah, well, you know what he said in the paper today? He said, I'll be sitting by my phone if they need me.
Yeah, it's just down the street.
Yeah, I'm just down the street, so, ain't no problem. I think they should make a coach out of Charlie Batch. Yeah. I think he would be an excellent coach. I don't think they should just let him go.
All right, Tony, let's do some triv.
Already? All right.
Well,
Heck, I'm wasting my time here. I've only been on 3 minutes. Okay, no problem.
3
Let me have Grand Salami.
Okay.
Number 2.
Number 2, Bob.
all right, Tony. We're looking for the name. You get 20 seconds, starting yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
Who was the oldest pitcher to throw a shutout?
The oldest pitcher. Oh, my God. To throw a shutout.
You get, let's see, 5 seconds.
Come on. You just gave me that 5 seconds. All right. I don't know. Shucks. I don't know. I'll tell you that. Let me say Robin Roberts.
How
Not a bad guess.
about Jamie Moyer?
Same team as Robin Roberts played for.
Yep.
47 and a half when he did the shutout. So, Tony,
Okay.
good try. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Have a great week.
Good hearing from you.
Yes, sir. Take care.
Okay. Break time. Let's do the break, and we'll be back in a moment.
.380 Auction and Discount Warehouse, Route 380, Murraysville.
Automotive supplies, groceries, housewares, pet supplies.
All at discount prices.
Sofas, dining tables, recliners, dressers and desks, lamps and end tables.
All at discount prices.
Yard and landscaping supplies, special catalog orders, mattresses with full warranties.
All at discount prices.
School supplies, tools, paint, toiletries, model cars, toys.
All at discount prices. Get to 380 Auction and Discount Warehouse today, Route 380, Murraysville.
Why do Arnold Furniture's customers continue to come back year after year? Maybe it's the personal touch that the Miller family has provided since 1975. Maybe it's the prices that are consistently lower than the competition. Or how about the selection? 4 floors of living room, dining room, recliners, bedding, accessories, and so much more. Plus free local delivery, free setup, and free removal of your old furniture guaranteed. The choice is obvious. Visit Arnold Furniture online at arnoldfurnitureinc.com or stop in and see us today.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Okay, folks, Mattio's Pizza in Brackenridge Heights, which is right at the intersection there with that first traffic light coming out of Tarentum. Mattio's Pizza, great pizza, gyro sandwiches, subs and hoagies, calzones and strombolis, wingdings, and a lot more. Their signature sandwich is still the Iron Man hoagie. Give them a call, place your order at 724-904-7312. Great pizza from Mattio's. We're going to go to the phones and welcome the Limo Man, Bruce.
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
We can hear you.
great quality now.
I'm on the landline.
There you
Good.
go. There you go.
Good.
First of all, Carlos Ruiz is back after his suspension,
Right?
and I gave him the doubledribblebob.com yesterday.
Don't tell me you picked him up at the airport.
No, I called him on AM 1210, the Big Talker 1210.
You mean to tell me they let that little advertising go over the air?
Not really, but they love me,
Oh, okay.
and I do part-time commercials for them.
Oh, okay.
And May 8th, the Philly Fanatic is going to celebrate his birthday, hosted by Larry Anderson, who's the voice of the Phillies with Scott Fransky.
By the way, do you know who the oldest baseball mascot is?
No.
Well, let's tease him a little bit here.
Okay.
He was hired, I think, by Ray Kroc. Was he not, or am I wrong?
I don't know. My first thing came to my mind was Mr. Met, because he goes back to when the Mets were in the
really?
Polo Grounds.
Oh my
Mr.
gosh.
Met?
Well, I thought it was the San Diego Chicken,
That's what I thought.
Yeah, you could.
but George could be right.
Be right.
George could be right.
Now, who came first, San Diego or the Mets?
Well, the Mets did.
The
In
Mets did.
'62.
52, yeah.
That's when
Casey Stengel.
Casey was there.
Yeah. And he said, "Can anybody here play this game?"
And you missed a good movie on TV today, Robert.
What would that be?
High Society at 2:30 on Turner Classic Movie. One of the best you'd ever see. The 5th time I've seen it.
Fifth time you've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I was in military school when I first saw it, 1957.
I was
Good
still in
old
school.
Woodstock, Virginia.
Well, okay.
And how about Willie Mays? His poor wife died. She was a Pitt graduate.
Yes, she was a Pittsburgh girl.
Yeah. How about that? I think the Pirates are the way they're playing will take 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee.
Well, I hope, because,
would
boy,
be
they've
nice.
had so many problems up in Milwaukee.
I
They've
know.
had problems in almost every stadium, but particularly Milwaukee.
And Bob has a new listener starting tonight, Dr. George Heinrich. He's going to operate on my left elbow tomorrow morning.
You're going to have Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, over at St. Margaret's, where the Jewish doctors are.
Well,
Used to be Montefiore. It's now St. Margaret's.
okay. Well, get on your feet soon. We hate to see our callers down and out.
I'll tell everybody about you as soon as I wake up.
Well, what are you going to do with trivia tonight?
I'm going to do the one with Mattio's.
Oh, okay.
The
You know
mystery
which one? I
profile.
forget the name.
Okay. George is going to walk you
All
through
right,
it.
here we go. You know how we play. You remember the old TV show, What's My Line, don't you?
Yeah.
This is kind of like this. We have descending prize totals with each incorrect guess.
$100.
So, let's start off with this one. Your first clue, during World War II, my parents were classified by the U.S. government as enemy aliens.
Don't know that one.
Okay, we'll go down to the $75 question. I served my country during World War II, but the Army kept me away from the front lines. So think about that one. Who is...
Jim Bunning?
No, I don't think Bunning made World War II. But that's still a good guess. Here's your next one. I was an all-star selection in each of my 13 seasons in Major League Baseball. Every year he was an all-star.
Maury Wills?
Not a bad guess, but the wrong one. Let's go down now to your $25 question. I am best known for my 56 consecutive game hitting streak.
Say that again?
I am best known for my 56 consecutive game hitting streak.
Active player?
No, he's a retiree.
Oh.
But he hit safely in 56 straight games.
Pete Rose?
No, not quite. He had 44 in a row once. Here's your final Tinker Toy clue. This is the bonus now. My brothers Vince and Dom also played Major League Baseball.
Dominic the DiMaggio?
Yes, indeed. Well, Joltin' Joe DiMaggio to be exact.
Yes.
Now, we should have put as one of the clues he was married to Marilyn Monroe.
His wife, Anne, was, when I worked for the Nestle company, handled the fundraising money. That's something you didn't know.
No, I didn't know that.
I missed the very beginning of that. The fundraising money for who?
The Nestle company, like schools and organizations.
Oh, okay. All right, Bruce, we're going to send you something out. It's not going to be major, but you'll get something.
Well, God bless you. May the Lords of St. Margaret shine on Bob's house on Arizona Drive.
All right, Bruce, thank you.
Okay, and have a successful operation.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Okay, let's see. We got a couple of guys here in the stadium. in the
arena.
studio. In the studio, and Chris is going to chat with us for a while anyway. Chris, welcome here to the program.
Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it. And I was wondering, what's your take on the Pirates situation? Do you think they're gonna get in the fact that they're gonna get one trading, or are they gonna take the suit of the other team that didn't trade anything last year? I think we got something on the right track now. I think we better just stay with it. What do you think?
In other words, not make any trades. Don't mess up the chemistry in the clubhouse. Is that what you're saying?
I really don't think so. I wouldn't want to mess up the chemistry in the clubhouse at all. I don't think so, because right now we're where we want to be. And we're right in the beginning, and it never happened that way for a good while.
Well, this is the first time they've won 15 games in the month of April since 1992. So that's how good of a start the Pirates are off to. But there was a school of thought last year, Chris and Bob, that the Pirates were going such great guns. Now, they got Wandy Rodriguez, turned out to be a good trade, but some of the other trades that were made more or less upset the balance in the clubhouse, and things were going so good you shouldn't have messed with it. Brad Lincoln was coming in, pitching well in the 6th or 7th inning. After he left, the Pirates had Chad Qualls, who was in the process of being DFA'd by the Yankees. And some of the other people that came in, Snyder was hurt. Gabby Sanchez was having such a bad year he couldn't get on track. So there's a school of thought that said last year they just should have maybe gotten Rodriguez, but left well enough alone for the remainder of the season.
I think that's what they should have done too, was leave well enough alone. My other thought is, do you feel we can probably get somebody that we don't have to use right away just to get a backup player? I mean, we don't want to use him actively, but I mean, just to have him on the side. But I mean, he's good enough to fill in.
Well, they did get Brandon Inge brought up and activated, and he's been doing a pretty good job in the last several days. So you mean somebody like a Brandon Inge?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he's really going to help the club, I think, off the bench significantly, and you can see it already. How he can come up cold and get a pinch hit late in the game. Pirates haven't had that. The Pirates have had some of the worst benches in Major League Baseball over the past several seasons, and Brandon Inge could kind of
and the last good guy that we had, I believe, still holds a record, Matt Stairs.
Yeah.
Didn't he have the most pinch hit home runs in a season, maybe?
Well, John Vanderwall did it, was with the Pirates for a while. But the Pirates were so bad then they had to play Vanderwall first string instead of bringing him off the bench. But yeah, I remember when the year Matt Stairs was here, 2003, he did such a great job. Yeah. And he played into his 40s. And again, it just didn't make sense that they didn't keep him because
he went to
had
Boston or something?
Yeah, I think so. A tailor-made swing for PNC Park. But
I just want somebody that's going to come in there and hold his own if something falls apart, and he can just come in and take over right where he left off on a pace.
Well, so far Inge is doing it because he's been playing a lot of second base with Neil Walker out.
Oh, I know that part of it, but we need more than one guy just to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, for every position, we need a backup of some sort that's good.
The last 3 games, I think it is, the Pirates have had only 3 bench players, 3 people that could possibly have come off the bench, with Walker down and Snyder having some hamstring problems. And they didn't want to use McHenry that one game, so they pinch hit Wandy Rodriguez, and they pinch hit another pitcher, I think, that same game, too.
Another thing, I'd be really surprised if Crosby gets into the playoffs at all. I mean, the way things are going, I would think he's not going to be ready. He's still going to be weak in the playoffs, but I don't think it'd be an adverse effect on it.
In an opening round series, if you're I wouldn't say coasting, but if you're doing well, why jeopardize his well-being and just let somebody else?
That's what I'm saying.
We've got so many great skaters. I mean, we're there. So
I just think last Monday night that was a good game. I mean, everybody's betting that they were going to lose against them.
And against Ottawa. Yeah.
Yes, including me. I called in and I voted against that. But obviously we got a surprise. But we took it on the chin the other night. In fact, we lost the 2 that maybe we could have somehow won, but it just wasn't there for us.
Okay.
And what's your take on this New York series? I think we're going to break even.
Break even? Well, I'd rather win it.
I mean, I think we're going to break even. Well, either one of the others it's going to end in 4 games, I think.
Well, I hope you're right. Give some days off to the players and get Crosby back in there. If you win this first series, there's a better chance of getting Crosby to come back at some point.
That's what I said. I think we're going to take it in 4 games.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
Chris, did you enjoy your Taco Bell certificate?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I was there today myself. In fact, I made 2 trips.
All right.
And I don't want my wife to know that, but
I'm eligible again this week.
You're eligible right
yes,
now?
I am.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Please.
Multiple choice. All right. My turn or yours, George? My turn. Okay, you have question number 9. And guys, if you're ready to show Chris here in the studio audience what the question is, and that is, based on a minimum of 100 pinch hit at bats, what Hall of Famer has the highest pinch hit batting average? And your options are Bill Terry, Joe Cronin, Rod Carew, and Lloyd Wainer.
I'm going to go with Rod Carew.
Well, Chris, guess what? You are correct.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, George.
Okay.
2 winners we have tonight.
2 winners. Actually, we have 3 if you count, the limo man.
Well, true. He got the Tinker Toy.
Yeah, he got the Tinker Toy clue on the mystery profile. So Chris is right there. We have a break to do, and then we're going to be coming back. And Paul is going to step before the mic here tonight and chat with us a tad. Okay? We'll be back in a moment, folks. Stay with us. This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fazio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fazio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fazio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go, Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. Stop up to 31 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the new Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
Available at Highland Tire under the bridge in Tarentum and Freeport Road, Natrona Heights. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. All right, folks, welcome back here to the program. And again, our number, 724-236-0430. We're doing the program from the AKLC studios in Leechburg, and we invite you to give us a call. We also have the availability of joining us here live in the studios on Monday nights when we stream the program on Double Dribble Bob and a couple of other locations we'll be talking about. So you're welcome here to come up and visit with us. And George wants to plug his book, but before he does, no, you know what? You go ahead.
Okay.
Because I had an extra thought about my engagement with the Oakmont Rotary.
Okay.
So
Well,
if
good
I
luck
plug
with
it,
that.
if I plug it, it's already over when you're watching this Thursday. So go
But
ahead.
at any rate, right now, whether it's you're watching the Monday or the Thursday version, my book is AK Valley, Sports History. Covers about 100 years of sports in our area. 304 pages, 171 photos. Available for $19.95 at Costello Printing in Trentham. And also at the Klingensmith Pharmacy locations in Armstrong County, particularly right here in Leechburg, a couple of blocks away from where the show is coming, or you can order online at wordassociation.com. And Bob, you're going to be in Oakmont as we speak.
If you're watching this one on a Thursday night, I will have already made the appearance Tuesday at the Rotary.
Good.
If you're watching this Monday night, then it's tomorrow. So anyway, Paul joins us here tonight. And Paul, the last time you were on, you were a winner. You got a Golden Dawn gift certificate for the grocery store.
Yes.
And it's a great place. I like shopping at Golden Dawn. And you also got a $50 gift certificate from Lombardo Auto Detailing.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so get that car cleaned.
Anyway, a couple questions. High school football. Other than Leechburg's last season in the WPIAL this year, is there any other milestones or anniversaries that are taking effect this year in
For
football?
Leechburg?
Well, he means for anybody?
For anybody.
For anybody?
Right.
Well, yeah, this will be Leechburg's last year in the WPIL,
Right.
presumably. Now, on the, it'll be 3 weeks from today, which I believe is going to be, the third Monday in May, District 6 Committee will meet, and they have to vote to accept Leechburg's application. Now, a couple of weeks back, the WPIAL board voted to release Leechburg. Now, District 6 has to vote to accept Leechburg, and the PIAA then has to confirm both actions, which is more or less a formality by the time it gets to that. And in fact, from what I understand, the PIAA Board of Control has it on their agenda on their May 22nd and 23rd meetings that to consider Leechburg moving from District 6. But as far as any other anniversaries or milestones this coming football season, I don't know of any right off the bat, except that it will be the, and Bob's not going to believe this, and I don't either, the 40th anniversary of Springdale winning the WPIAL. You, I, and Joe broadcast their championship game at Thomas Jefferson High School way back when, but Springdale came from really nowhere to win the WPIAL championship in 1973. They lost their first game and started winning, started on a roll, and never looked back, and that was one of the greatest and most fun football teams to cover that we've ever been around.
I got to lay this on Paul because here's something else you may not believe.
Okay.
The very first high school football game that I broadcast, Plum was the host school.
Okay.
Guess who they played?
Springdale.
Springdale. Can you imagine? Today one is quad A, the other one is single A.
Yeah.
But in those days, Plum was a lot smaller.
Right, it was more or less a rural score.
They were in a conference called the AIC.
Yeah.
Burrell, Plum, Springdale.
Leechburg.
Was it Leechburg?
Yeah, Leechburg was in there. Leechburg, in fact, won it a few times. Arnold, Franklin Regional was in there for a while. They were a very small school. Freeport's always been in there, but Ford City and Katanning have been in there, and they still are in the more or less the later reconfiguration as the Allegheny Conference. And West Deer was also a member. Let's not forget them. And Hampton.
And guess who coached West Deer? Jim
Collins.
Collins from the WPIAL.
Now the administrative assistant down in the WPIAL office.
Great guy.
Yes,
I like to work with him.
He sure is.
And one about the NHL playoffs, I was filling my brackets out. I have a funny feeling. Keep an eye on Vancouver. I have Vancouver and the Penguins in the finals this year.
Ooh, what happened to the Blackhawks?
The President's Trophy jinx, I call it, because I think it's been since 2001 since the President's Trophy winner has won the Stanley Cup.
You know, I got to tell you, about a year, and I remember doing this story. When you win the Stanley Cup, the cup stays at your, in those days, I don't know what they do today. Does it stay there the whole year?
Yeah, I think they used it a little bit up at the
They'll
Hockey Hall of Fame Museum in Toronto.
Yeah. But basically, it's yours for the year.
Yes.
And the year that they won, and I'm going to go back maybe to the 40s, they beat Montreal in the finals, and the playoff system was not as elaborate and extensive as it is today. And a Montreal fan came down from, you know, the city of whatever it is up there that they call it, I'm not sure anymore, came down to Chicago where the Blackhawks were playing Montreal, and somehow he got the cup. No alarm triggered, and he was walking out of the Chicago arena with the cup when he was caught. Well, they get the cup back, they throw him in jail. The following day, he's got a hearing. And the judge says, I can't help but ask the question, why were you taking the cup? He says, because it belongs in Montreal. I mean, it's like because they won it so often, this is where it should be. But anyway.
23 times, I believe.
Something like that, And for many years, when it was really one of the, I thought, one of the most unfair things in sports. Up until 1970, when the draft came along, Montreal had the first pick of any French-Canadian-born player. So naturally, they were able to get people like Rocket Richard and Jean Beliveau, and players of that ilk. And then in 1970, Buffalo came in, and Vancouver came into the league that same year, and they said, that's enough, we're not doing this anymore. Buffalo picked Gilbert Perreault, and just think if Montreal would have gotten him if this were a year earlier, he turned out to have a Hall of Fame career for the Buffalo Sabres.
Right.
Now, did you have any relatives or anyone ever talk about the Pittsburgh Hornets, the franchise in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I've heard.
Before the Penguins, but
Yeah.
it was minor league hockey.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
the AHL.
But still,
Yeah,
it was the only
AHL,
hockey
great,
we had
Yeah, the
in
Flyers
Pittsburgh.
JV team, I think it was the Flyers junior team, I guess they call it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
they had. I'll tell you what, it was a small rink. I think it only held about 5,000 people.
If that, yeah.
Yeah. And the chairs that they used in a lot of, let's say behind, the rink, that arc behind the goal, were these folding chairs like you see at funeral homes.
right.
They have, that's what they would use. And I enjoyed, I went down a lot. I was 15 years of age when my dad and a friend of his from work would go down, and we would park on one of the Oakland streets. Didn't have to pay, and we would walk for blocks to get to the, what did they call it?
Duquesne Gardens.
The Duquesne Gardens. I mentioned that once to the late Terry Van Horn on the show, and apparently Terry didn't believe me about the Duquesne Gardens because he associated everything with the university.
Yeah.
But they have since stripped that, and I think they made.
Oh, yeah, that was long gone.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what is there now, but it was
Apartment
actually a
buildings or
converted.
something.
Yeah, it was a converted trolley car barn that they took the trolley cars in for repairs or whatever they would need, and that's basically what it was, a converted trolley car barn.
Well, just like Highland Tire in Tarentum, which is one of our sponsors, you see, and I don't know if they're still there, but I know inside the garage, when you get in that line and you're, in the process, I think those rails are still there. That's where they would do the maintenance on the trolleys that operated back in the 20s and 30s.
Still there.
That's how the Dodgers got their names. The nickname, the Dodgers. People would head out to Ebbets Field in Brooklyn, and they'd jump off the trolley.
Dodge.
And the trolleys were, and they were always dodging, getting out of the way, and they called these people the Dodgers. So that's how the name of the team.
Yeah, they used to be the Brooklyn Bridegrooms, I think, for a while.
Can you imagine that? Oh, crazy.
And the Superbas. They were the Brooklyn Superbas for a while, and then they finally, the name Dodgers from dodging trolley cars came into being.
It's amazing.
Right.
Go back and, just do a lot of, I got a Nook for Christmas, which is the electronic way to read a book.
Right.
And I have bought, I can't tell you how many sports books. I'm
bought.
reading one right now, it gives a lot of the history of the Steelers, and it's not geared toward the Steelers, but it's called, I think, The Last of the Headbangers, and they talk about, people like Jack Lambert, et cetera, Mean Joe Green, and what have you. But there's some excellent books out there, and the deeper you get into the way things used to be, it puts a smile on your face when you read about, Bradshaw, his rookie year, $35,000.
Wow.
These players get that in one game anymore.
Yeah.
Lots more. Paul, you ready for trivia?
Yes. I'll take multiple choice.
All right. Here's a multiple choice one for Paul.
Okay.
Going back up to the top, who was the first major leaguer to hit 5 home runs in one day? Obviously a doubleheader, but this guy hit 5 home runs in a day. Was it Babe Ruth, Bob Horner, Stan Musial, or Jimmy Fox?
And before you answer, all 3 previous attempts are winners. If you
Put
don't
the
get this
pressure
one,
on.
you break the string tonight.
It's only a guess. I have no idea. Jimmy Fox.
No, I'm afraid not. The answer is Stan Musial. Had 5 home runs in a day, 3 in one game and 2 in the other. And Nate Colbert tied that record.
I'm just going to bring that up.
Back
Nate
in
Colbert,
1972, I believe it was.
playing for the Padres?
Padres, yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, Paul, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate
Have a
you
good day.
coming up, as well as Chris. here in the audience tonight taking a shot at some trivia.
And don't forget our number, 724-236-0430. Give us a call. We're live on streaming video if you're watching the Monday night version in our studios in Leechburg.
Okay, break time, and George and I will return. We're going to chat more about sports, and we'll do that in a quick minute. Stay with us. Since 1914, people in the local area have relied on the Resevich family in deepest time of need. The Resevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession in the AK Valley. Its reputation and unquestionable service speaks for itself. Now the proud tradition of service continues with a fourth generation. The Resevich family serves the AK Valley from two locations, 5th Avenue Arnold and Leechburg Road, Lower Burrell.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Welcome to Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't become better. Buffalo Bill's wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yet so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Felderelli Square. Well, Tower Auto Sales has more than 30 years of experience at the same location, and they are solid. You check in with Mike Fanto and allow him and his sales staff to guide you through their selection of great pre-owned vehicles. Tower Auto Sales, with the best in product, the best in selection, the best customer communication, and best service after the sale. Just buy it at Tower Auto Sales, 412-828-6202. George, we have a few minutes here before we close out. Nobody's on the phone, and must be, I know, well, and again, we're talking live Monday night, and when you see this one back on Comcast, it's Thursday night, but Monday night, a little bit of rain, so they're not out cutting lawns. Maybe they're getting the garbage out tonight.
We had our kind of a mini version of the Heidi game in Pittsburgh Saturday afternoon.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. The Pirates.
The Pirates game.
In a long game with a low score.
Yeah, and they broke into the Pirate game in the 9th inning to show the Penguins' season finale against Carolina. And you know, the Pirate fans are mad. The Penguin fans are saying, "What are you mad about? You know, you've had 20 losing seasons in a row." But my question on this whole issue is, why in the world is a 9-inning Major League Baseball game, which there's only 8 runs scored, was a 5-3 was the final score. Why is that game taking 3 hours and 42 minutes? It's just ridiculous how long the Major League Baseball games are anymore.
Now let me relate what George had mentioned when we were talking about this before we went on the air tonight. But I never hear anybody, as an announcer, mention this. Every pitcher, pardon me, is going deep in the count.
Yeah.
We don't have any more 2 balls, 1 strike singles or hits or whatever.
Or Rennie Stennett swinging at the first pitch.
Yeah, these games, and maybe that's why they have the pitch count anymore.
Yeah.
They are just so long. It's 3 balls and ball. It's ball 4. It's strike 2. Now it's 3 and 2, and it's a full count on every doggone batter.
Just about, yeah. They're going to remember an era where a full count was rare on a batter. Now it's happening, you know, a couple of times every inning at least.
And you can blame a little bit of it on the television station that is carrying the ball game, because they do a lot of in-store promotions, such as, and you had brought this up, the Pirate T-shirts, or the Pirate caps. They're not paid commercials, but they're advertising team merchandise that lure the parents to take their kids in. And also, while we're there, we're going to pick up a souvenir for the kids and what have you. So the ball games are longer, but I would say that since they face off at, normally, if the game's at 7, it's 7:07, 7:08. 7:30 game, likewise, 7 or 8 minutes in. I may have given them a little, but then again, you've got guys that are sponsoring pregame too. So, hey, if
it
you
had
can't
to be preempted. But that, the Pirate game started at 4:15 and then ended, what, about 8:02 or something like that? I'm not 100% sure, but it's just ridiculous how long these Major League Baseball games take anymore. Bob, we talked about an era where if you had a 3-hour Major League game, that was considered just a lengthy novelty.
Now it's this was 3 hours and 42 minutes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it brings me to a story. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Russ, the broadcaster with the Dodgers that did games with Harry. Ross, I think it's Ross.
Oh, Ross Porter.
Ross
Did
Porter.
games with
Ross
Vince
Porter.
Scully. Okay.
He had something on his website that I put an answer to or whatever, and he was very kind in writing back to me. And I think my question was, and the situation was this: Porter was doing a game in Montreal without Scully. I'll get it right yet. Anyway, the game went long. It was an extra inning game. Counting the time that he was on the air pre-game and post-game, he did on his own a 6-hour broadcast. Now, there's extra innings involved, so we're not talking about a 9-inning ball game. But I said, you were alone in the booth? He said, I brought my wife along and she was knitting. Anyway, can you imagine how much voice, what would you have left in the tank, as they would ask?
Well, you remember when it was Bob Prince and Nellie King, it was a 2-man crew for about 5 years there.
Yeah.
And when they would do a TV game, the one announcer would just stay for the entire venue. In other words, if Bob Prince was doing TV that night, he just went all 9 innings on TV, and Nellie would do all 9 on radio. Now, for a while, remember they had Paul Long, and then later on they had Don Hoke for a while.
Long time ago.
Yeah, but they would do the games by themselves. And you know who really had a tough time, I think, Bob, was when Mike Lang did simulcast for the Penguins by himself.
Yeah.
It was on radio and TV, because the TV you didn't want to say too much because the viewer could see what was going on, but somebody driving in their car had to listen on the radio, so Lang had to get a little more descriptive than he would normally be. So that had to be tough.
I know he's been gone a long time, but my favorite guy with Bob Prince was the late Jim Woods.
Yes.
Jim
he was great.
Was so colorful. He had that husky voice, and they got along great. That's all part of it too. Folks, we're going to sign off. Thanks for bearing with us, and thanks for watching here tonight, our Sportsline Trivia Show. And we'll see you again in another week, okay? Thanks again for watching. I'm Bob Tattern.
George Guy.
And good night, everybody.
Watching Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burl in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.